Hey guys.
Hello.
How are y'all doing? We're like on the camera.
Yeah.
We're not sure if you can hear us or not because I have in one AirPod and Holly has in one AirPod, and we're trying to see if we can do this for sound because it's really windy out here.
Yes, y'all let us know if you can hear us both.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a lot of people here, so.
Yeah. Good crowd.
Yeah,
And some have
it was
stayed
great.
for the podcast.
Can you
so
hear
it's
us,
awesome.
Ginger? Yeah, I'm excited about
me
that.
too.
We have a live discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a live discussion.
Whit said you can hear us both.
You can hear, yay! Awesome!
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so, oh, good, Chris, good. Oh, Chris, I'm glad you're here. I would
Yeah.
love to hear your take on what we just,
Yes.
discussed because I have wrestled. I hope that I made sense because it all made so much sense to me.
Oh yeah.
It was like all of the.
It was a complete picture.
It was like all the pieces that we've been getting for a long, long time collided. And I was sitting at my bar last night going, oh. And it's not just, I've been writing this for a week. I've been trying to, I sat down the other day and I don't do that, y'all. I wait until Saturday to write these because I procrastinate.
Well, you gotta let them cook for a while too.
Yeah, you gotta let them cook, absolutely. But this one, I sat down and wrote, and I had notes everywhere, y'all. I was just typing random words. I got notes in my phone. I got notes everywhere. I just got up out of the bed, stepped out of the shower this morning, walked into the kitchen, and wrote down something else. So it's kind of been doing that. So yes, I'm not going to recap everything because we just went over we just had the discussion. But I want to hear from y'all, and I want to hear from Pastor Chris. Is what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Pastor Chris, what, yeah, talk to us. Yes. The atoms. I forgot about that. You're going to have to refresh my memory on that, but yeah.
Yeah, come up and talk.
Yeah, you can come up and talk. Yeah, we're just going to do a lot. We have a lot of people here, so we may, Whit's here. And me and Whit had a conversation that kind of was one of those things. Come on up, Whit.
Yeah.
I'm so lame. Okay, should I just...
Yeah.
Okay, so, this is actually something that one of my friends, Chris Cooper, told me about. Shout out to you, Chris. So basically, like, on a molecular level, you know about, like, neutrons and protons and electrons and all that stuff. Well, okay, so there's the nucleus in an atom, and then all those, like, protons and electrons and neutrons going around it. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me what order, I forgot. Anyway, even on, like, that very tiny microscopic level, they have those particles, but, of course, there's space in between those particles. Right. And as far as I know, scientists cannot figure out what that space is. So, like, scientifically, perhaps, maybe, that space is spirit. And atoms are in everything. So, therefore, spirit is in everything on a molecular level. Boom.
It's that
The
shape.
space between. Peace out.
What?
Yeah, really.
What? Yes. Yes. And that's the shape. That's the shape. And this is the shape in sacred geometry. Hello, Stella. Stella says, "Hey guys, that is in every living thing. The seed of life. Yeah. We got the science teacher over here too.
Yeah.
Commonly called God space, Dufran said.
Ooh,
Yep.
really?
Mm-hmm.
That's really a thing. Yes.
It's really a thing. Whit said it's really a thing. Yes, and that space between, it feels like death. I've been there. Because you're not here and you're not there, and you feel disconnected. Rob Bell's Everything is Spiritual hits this hard from macro to micro. Chris, I cannot believe you're saying that to me, because I was standing in the bookstore last night and saw that book. Out of all the books, I don't remember any of the books that I saw, but I saw that book and looked at it, and it hit, and I didn't get it. Huh, I gotta go get that book.
Yeah, for sure. Synchronicity.
Yeah, and that's interesting, and that's what I know. The wind's loud, y'all. I'm trying to keep it from hitting the microphone. But yeah, y'all talk to me. Come on now, I can't do all the talking. I'm not sure I got much more to say.
Yeah, I'm still digesting. That was a lot.
Because it was a lot. Yeah, absolutely a lot.
love the meaning of all the words you brought out too. The symbology in them. You know, the belly and the fish.
And there's more, y'all. There's more. Like, I was reading the Jonah chapter 2 again, and as I was reading it for this, I saw so many rabbits. Like, so many rabbits. Let's see. Interconnectedness. I like that you use that word too, that interconnectedness, because inner being that word where understanding kind of comes from. I like that. Yeah, there's a lot. I said, I have been banished from your sight, yet I will look again towards your holy temple. And that is that space. That is that temporary, transitory space. And that word water meant that. Now, my highly enlightened friend that I was talking about was just reminding me that water is is the unconscious. She's not talking, but the unconscious part of us, the unconscious part, which to me, and Dr. Bonnie Miller has taught us this and taught us so much. But to me, that the unconscious is that holy place. It's a holy place behind the veil, and that's the brain setup. The veil. Let's see.
Fishing for minnows on top of a whale.
Fishing for minnows on top of a well. From the back of a well.
Wait, what?
I love you. So, I gotta. Chris is sharing a
good.
Yeah, a link. Is that from Rob Bell? I love Rob Bell because Rob Bell is I used a lot of his. We talked about hell. We talked about Sheol. We talked about, because that was in here. Jonah says, you heard me from the pit of hell or whatever. And that word is Sheol, and it means grave. And Rob Bell's really the one that kind of helped me to understand a lot of that as well. So I really like Rob Bell and his writings. I know he got a lot of controversy for his books, but he's really great.
Would you say he caught hell for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is spiritual tour.
Awesome.
Now, and you know what? Richard Rohr, who wrote The Universal Christ, also wrote a book called Everything is Sacred. Everything is sacred, and everything, and that's probably another reason why I looked at that book. So I was turning around and I saw Everything is Spiritual by Rob Bell, and I was like, I wonder if those two are connected, or like, of course they're connected, but I think that the connectedness is opening up to me in such a way, and I've always seen it, but it's just getting bigger and bigger, and it's really interesting.
All
what's
is one.
happening.
Yeah.
Everything is one. Yeah, and I want to go back to the sermon of sacred geometry, and Whit they just tapped on that one a little bit because of the shapes. And when and Chris, you may remember this, when I preached that one, you got up and drew the circles for me when we were reading out of Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, and so I'm at a loss for words. This is not good. Not good for a podcast.
No, sorry about it.
Not good for a podcast. Now, I want to say something about birth. Now, I want to go here because I wrote this down this morning. And pregnancy is 40 weeks from conception to birth. All right? Moses was in the wilderness for 40 years. Joshua was in the wilderness for 40 years. Now, Moses was in the wilderness for 40 years before he went into Egypt.
Yeah.
Then he went back into the woods for 40 more years. Now, Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights.
Yep.
And I want to say this. Each one of them went into this space before they entered their purpose. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They went into this space before they entered their purpose. What happened in that space? What happened to Moses?
It's the understanding that comes.
It's the understanding that comes, the awakening. Moses had a Kundalini awakening. You will not change my mind about that. You will not change my mind about that. Moses had a Kundalini awakening, and that happened before he went into Egypt, and he went back into a dark place, because Egypt is the dark land. Jesus fought with Satan. Overcame. I shouldn't say fought, because he didn't fight him. He just overcame him before he entered his ministry. And that was just before he entered his ministry. Joshua was in the wilderness, learning, growing, developing, which is what happens to a fetus. They grow, they develop, they transform. All the cells reproduce and multiply, and they come together and they create what they're supposed to be. And then
So wouldn't it be cool to think
they're
that
born.
with the baby being in the womb, surrounded by the fluid,
The water.
the water, and the fluid is spirit, or not in your drawing it wasn't, but if the fluid is the part of what transforms and allows the child, because aren't they fed through amniotic fluid and through the placenta and through the tube and all of this stuff, and that you have this child. God asks us to be like a child in order to, I think, understand what we're supposed to understand while we're here. And you have all this happening, and that's all. Somebody once told me that that God, Psalm 139, God knew us before we were even born. He knew everything about us
Right.
before we were even born. And I had a man used to tell me that, you were an angel in heaven before that ever happened. And he would tell me that I was already in heaven. I'm already in heaven. I'm already here. And then you're birthed, and you're that child, and you have that innocence, and you have. But you and I were talking about, I think we have all this knowledge
As a
but
baby.
we're little, and we can't
Yeah.
say nothing.
We can't say nothing. And yeah, that's right. We're born with, and Bonnie talks
we're
about
born
this
with
too.
it.
Yeah, Bonnie talks about it too. Bonnie even says we're born knowing everything we need to know.
Yes.
We're born into this world with wisdom and knowledge because we come into the world with it. And then we can't talk, and we have to get trained by people who have been trained by the Matrix.
It's like whenever they went into the forest for those 40 years, they had to untrain themselves and go back to their original knowledge.
They had to unravel. Exactly. They came from and Witt saying they came out of Egypt with an Egyptian mindset.
Right.
They were slaves. They were bound in their mind. And they got out of Egypt and got free from Egypt, but they did not get free from the mindset. So they went into the wilderness, and they just kept doing the same things over and over and over again, walking in circles, doing the same things. And that's why our church is Joshua generation, because only the Joshua generation, Yeshua,
Yep. Jesus.
Jesus,
Same word.
got out of the wilderness.
They went beyond.
They went beyond the minds. They changed their minds. They were able to overcome the Egyptian mindset. They were unraveled, and they knew they crossed the Jordan. But the rest of them that could not change their mindset died in that wilderness, and they were stuck there. They couldn't get out because they refused to change their mind. They refused to open their mind. they died in the belly of the wilderness.
The only way beyond is through. Like, you can't just.
The only way beyond is through. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
It's just like overcoming any kind of trauma, spiritual, emotional, physical, whatever it may be. Yeah.
Yes, you have to face it. You have to
Process.
You have to process it. You have to deal with it.
Reconcile.
That's why the belly and the mind is the space. It's the space between in my little drawing here. You know,
And you were saying about the triangles coming together, and what I saw, I guess, was us as the space between, and we lose ourselves the closer that those get together. We lose ourselves and become new. And so that's what I saw. Now
that's
me.
that's kind of what I'm talking about. The mind and the belly, because we carry everything in our belly. We carry you could say the seat of emotion is I think the seat of emotion is the belly. Now, I may be wrong about that, but that's where I feel my emotions. I feel my anger there. I feel worry there. I feel everything in my gut. And our mind is like the driver for those emotions. So when we change our mind and we release those emotions and heal those emotions and transform them, I should say, it's probably the best word for that part of the belly.
Yeah.
Is transformation, rebirth, regeneration. What was the word? Regeneration's the word. Yeah.
That was the born again translation.
Yes,
Yeah.
the belly, the fish. Yeah. So that needs to transform. Anyway, I know we're just rambling today, but it's a big picture to me. Really big picture to me.
You brought a lot of things together today from the last 5 years that I have been around this circle of people. I mean, it's all connected. It's really beautiful.
It's still a little mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I'm still processing.
We're not doing good. Somebody got to talk. Where's Donovan?
I don't know.
Where is everybody? I think they're all here. But yeah, and look, growth, transformation, development. These are the things that happen in the womb. Okay? Now, growth, transformation, development, and the miracle. The miracle happens in the space between conception and birth, in the depths, in the dark, in the womb. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm talking about in a spiritual, metaphysical way. I want you to say, oh God, I said metaphysical, Lord.
Well,
It's the space that we don't know exactly what's happening.
It's the space where you don't know what's happening. And how do you build your faith? You have to be in a place where you don't know what the hell's going on. You're just kind of going.
and just be okay with it.
It just comes like with it.
It comes from, and that's where you have to tap into the inner, like that energy that you don't even understand where it really comes from. That wisdom that you don't understand.
It's literally spirit.
It's right.
Here you go.
Yeah,
Baby, the thing.
it's like the eagles tossing their babies out of
Yes.
the nest when it's time for them to fly. You know, you kind of have to get it.
How it feels.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. The space between the nest and the ground
Yeah.
is where you learn to fly. Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah. Yes.
You can either fall or soar.
Yeah, you can fall or soar. But if you fall, just like the mother eagle, that spirit will, I'll lift you up on wings like eagles. That's Isaiah. Yeah. Yeah. I'll swoop under you if you fall, but yeah. So, open my eyes to so much more. Trust in spirit and let it grow. Yes. And the thing about it is, and we are really, and we're searching for the Christ, and we're searching for, the Christ and the vastness, and we're allowing our minds to be blown. We're allowing things to be broken. We're allowing walls to fall. Jericho.
Yeah.
Thinking about Joshua and Jericho.
Also, the space between is different for everyone.
Absolutely.
But also there are things that are similar. So a lot of things that you've been telling us, maybe I feel like we can all resonate with, but at the same time, it's individualized.
It absolutely is. And Whit's saying that the space between is different for everyone, and that is absolutely true. It's individualized, absolutely. And that's what, and that's why we can't, that's why I feel so strongly that we cannot, the Tao that can be named
Yep.
is not the eternal Tao. It's not saying it's not the Tao.
Yeah.
It's not the eternal Tao. Eternal being everything.
Unlimited.
Yeah, unlimited. And you can't put I can't name, I can't put a name on a lot of things. And with what you're going through and what Spirit shows you, I can't name. I don't know because I'm not there. It's not my space.
Well, like you said, God speaks to people in different ways at different times. So it's not yours. It's mine, and He gives that to me, and He gives that to you, and it's all very separate.
It's all very
individual.
personal. It's personal.
Individualized and
It's personal.
Also, they're the similar things. Sorry, I mean.
No, you didn't.
But they're the things that like we do share. Like what brings us all together right now. Like there's something that Spirit has shown all of us that we can all resonate with, that we all recognize. That's the same for all of us.
Yes.
But then again, there's individual pieces that only we can understand.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The differences in the interconnectedness is kind of what I'm processing in my head with the womb metaphor, because we're connected with that umbilical cord, which can be the filter, but it's like also the connection to earth and what we're provided with and how that comes in and how we interpret that and use that. So,
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, that was good. That's absolutely. It's so interesting. And the thing about it is I love what's happening. I think what's happening is our perception is opening up because we're allowing ourselves to see beyond what we are taught, and we're able to see God, Spirit, Goddess, whatever, universe, whatever, in everything. We can find something beautiful in everything.
And that's just it. You need to find something beautiful in everything and everybody, or we will never get to the place where
Acts chapter 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because how are we ever going to be in harmony unless I accept the fact that Wit responds to Spirit this way and Baby does this way and I do this way? You guys have to love me for
Exactly.
however I decide to be or do or believe. Yes.
Because love is the universal Christ.
Yes.
Yes. and that's what I think. We've got to be in harmony, but
Right.
everyone has to accept everyone else to do that.
Yes.
And it's going to take work.
And the number 3 is harmony too.
Yeah, and the number 3 is more than 1 3 is protection. So it was kind of the great protector 333, and so I just thought that was pretty cool too.
yeah, and what I'm thinking is like, we might start off like closed off, or we might even be open and closed off, but then like when we open, it kind of starts creating that triangle kind
Man,
of
that's-
shape again, and that funnel.
It does. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Spirit, then it comes together and it makes that.
Yeah. Well, and you have to think about the lotus too. I can't help but think about the lotus right here. You can speak, honey. Nobody knows you.
Go ahead.
You got something to say. I know you
I
do.
wasn't sure it was relevant.
Say it. It doesn't matter. It's relevant.
So, our experiences in this space between are different from person to person, but it's also different within ourselves from moment to moment because your awareness is arising in every second. And
Yes.
so, the way that I experience the space between in this moment is completely different than how I will experience the same exact concept in meditation. And
Yes.
it's different
Right.
when you're
Yes.
dreaming, and
Yes.
it's different when you're having a lucid dream. So all of those ways of experience, from just the mundane world to something more spiritual, all of that is ever changing, and it's always fresh in every moment because that's your awareness.
I like that. I like the space between the awareness, the different. Yeah. Can y'all hear the people talking outside of us? Because we have on these earbuds. I'm trying to trying to lean my head towards people because we have on these AirPods, and I'm not sure if they're catching what everyone's saying. But yes, Sarah, the space between is different from different, and it is I like what you're saying, because we can't get stuck on one idea of what the space between is, because when we do that, when we get stuck on, we build walls around it, and then there we go, and here we are. We have this. We've built this.
Yep.
We have
Labels
confined
and
I've
it.
experienced that exactly, because going from religion of Christianity
Yeah.
and the Bible, and then moving into something like trying to understand the Tao, and then doing Kabbalah, and so at first I was like,
Yeah.
this isn't, and you felt, I felt wrong. I felt wrong for trying to learn more and expand. And then when I finally realized that, hey, it might be okay to just expand and be different in every moment.
Yes.
Expand and be different in every moment. That's what Sarah was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I get that. I get exactly what you're saying. I've experienced that so much in just the last probably month.
I like that word, expand. I think that's kind of where this is. I like that word a lot. Yeah, broadening, expanding.
Well, look, the bigger our triangle can get.
Right. It's like we were talking about in one of the first podcasts. We talked about broad versus
Yep,
narrow.
we
being
did.
Funnel
We did.
representation.
Yes.
We did. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. We
And
sure
so
did. Yeah.
You could also see it. I don't know. I've just been sitting here thinking too, like seeing all of you all around me, and I have like so much appreciation for each of you and the friendship that we all share, and the spiritual connection, and
Yes.
idea exchange that we all enjoy. You could sort of see the, what do you call it, the merkaba, like that could be like the side
So cool.
coming together rather than just this.
Well, the
like
merkaba,
this.
the
This is all
merkaba
of us
is
coming
the
together, too.
multi-dimensional.
I don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the Star of David, but it's the multi-dimensional. You can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
3-dimensional.
Yeah, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
How to remember.
Thank you so much.
Stella's sharing her sticks.
Thank you.
She loves you if she gives you a stick.
do love
I'm
you
telling you. But I think the space between is growth. It's the growth. It's the space of growing. It's where you grow.
Ooh, yes. Like, okay, sorry.
My brain just got 3-dimensional. I stopped being flat for a
It
second.
reminds me of the fact that, like, in like personal relationships, like you're encouraged to give your friends and your significant other space to just like be and express themselves and stuff like that, and that space between is how you grow. And
It's holy.
Oh, it is holy. It is sacred.
You need separateness.
I like
in your
that.
Togetherness.
You need separateness
So
in
you
your
need to
together.
be
I like that.
individual
Yeah.
in order to be together.
yes, God.
I like that.
Yeah,
And,
I like that.
I like that.
That's like your sermon on the painting. What was it? If we mix all the colors, you lose the definition of. Do you remember the sermon I'm talking about?
The trap of it, unity.
Yes. Yes.
The trap of unity.
Right.
Yep. Yes, I forgot about that. Where I mix the water, I
Just
put
now.
the water. Yeah.
Wait, what?
The trap of unity. Well, that's kind of what it's talking about. We need that individuality in our togetherness. And when we talk about, I preached a long time ago, and I had a wine glass full of water, and I had the food coloring, the different color food colors. And when people come in the church, they're like, "Oh, welcome, you're welcome, just like you are." And then everybody kind of bleeds together, and they become the same.
Yeah, no.
And you lose your individuality
That space between.
because you need the space between.
Exactly. Yes.
You need the space between. Yes. We're all over the place,
Yeah, we
y'all.
are.
All over the place.
It's all related though.
It
Well,
does.
the
It does.
discussion, though, I mean,
Yeah.
really, it can allow people to they can take any kind of interpretation they want to out of this whole thing.
Absolutely.
And
We
still
encourage
grow.
it. Yeah, we encourage that. Please take your own. Take it.
Take your own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let us know your thoughts too, so we can talk about it on the next
Yeah.
podcast.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at the walls of Jericho. It's just in my head. I'm like 7. They walked around it 7 times. 7 is complete. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm rabbits everywhere. Rabbits. But
We'll chase them all.
we'll chase them all. So, what you got?
I think it
Some?
might be worth, like, if anyone has ideas, like maybe if they go back and watch it or something, and they want to like post something that they want to be discussed. Whenever we run out of ideas to talk about next time, maybe we can go back.
Yeah.
To that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and last week, I'm gonna throw this out here because last week blew my mind and I couldn't even talk.
Right.
Y'all heard I was rambling. I was like, oh my God. I was just rambling. Does anybody have anything from last week? Because I feel like I built off of last week. It was
it's
last
all
week that
connected.
kind of got me to this place. Last week and my incredibly enlightened friend. And I was just like, my head was spinning. I felt like Linda Blair, you know, I was just spinning around.
You were on that
Yes.
And
You were about to say something, Sarah, I think. Yeah. I saw the mask come
I
off.
was just gonna say how beautiful it is when you have really good friends and when you have a spiritual leader like Bibi and Holly that holds space.
Yeah,
So, you know, that's one of the things that happens in yoga classes. The instructor will hold space for you to experience the class, your body, you know, whatever you're going through. And so you hold that space for us to explore that safely.
Yes.
And good friends do that so that you can become.
you could become.
Yeah.
There's that word.
I
Yep.
love it.
The butterfly. Yeah.
Wow.
And, yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for pointing. And that's so important that you experience spirit in your way,
Yep.
in your space. And I love the way, I like that word. I love that. In your space, in your way, and take what is said here and go into that space between and allow spirit to show you something and give you something that is 100% yours.
Yes.
And not something that we gave you, because we're not here to just like pound you and conform you to our
That's
beliefs.
the opposite of who we are.
I'm not even sure what all we believe. We're just believing it. We're believing. That's just what we're just believing.
And seeking.
Seeking, yeah, we're believing and seeking, yes,
And becoming
yes,
and
yes,
expanding
and
all of it,
becoming.
yeah.
We're believing, seeking, and becoming. And I love how in Scripture it says, seek and you'll find. You gotta look.
Yep.
You gotta look.
I think that's one of the stepping stones, though, in like our unchurch is what Sarah said, that y'all do hold that space. You know, like not everyone does. And I think that's one of the things that makes us different.
Well, thank you. It's important to us. Very important. Very, very important.
I'm glad I looked and I found y'all.
I'm glad you found us too, Lori. So last week, let's talk about last week a little bit. Because, and I want to go back to, what's the word? You can say it.
Metanoia. I don't even know if I'm saying it
Metanoia.
right. Metanoia.
Well, metanoia sounds wonderful. Metanoia. And that word, repent, is metanoia.
Yep.
And it basically means,
Change your mind. Change the way you think.
yeah, change your
beyond
mind.
your mind.
Go beyond your mind. The space between.
And we always thought repenting meant
Oh yeah, it's
Behave.
admitting your guilt.
stop sinning.
Yeah.
It's admitting your guilt.
Yeah. Pay for what you did.
You're
You
pay
bitch.
for what you did. Yes, you have to you have to say certain prayers. You have to, and in the Catholic Church, you have to do so many Hail Marys, and in some churches, you have to go up to the altar and fall on your face and repent and cry and weep and and do these things, and that word, go beyond your mind. You must repent. You must go beyond your mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
totally different
Talk,
meaning.
just explain that. Like, what are you thinking? You expand.
Expand your mind. Go beyond your mind.
To do what?
To understand.
Yeah. Yes.
You got to go beyond your mind to understand.
That makes no sense.
That's where the growth.
It doesn't make sense. You know why? Because you're in your logical mind.
So
And things that are supernatural do not make sense in a natural understanding.
You gotta break through the walls and the
You
barriers.
got to break through the walls and the barriers. You got to go beyond your mind. You have to go to another space.
I got another space for you.
Oh, bring
Do
me,
it.
bring your spaces.
Yeah.
Just some of the more mystical Christian traditions, Orthodox, that sort of thing. One of the things they talk about is that for prayer to be effective, you need to bring your mind into your heart. So you drop that down, and we talked about the heart being the bridge.
Mhm.
You're pulling that down into another space.
Into another
Because
space.
You can't experience it all here. It
Yes.
can't even be described with words. So
Yes.
you have to bring it.
That's exactly, and that's what that picture was. That's what that picture is, because yes, you bring your mind, like spirit's here. Okay, you got spirit here, and coming through your mind brings your mind to that heart chakra. Okay, you have all of your emotions and all of your things that you need to deal with, that need to be transformed, that need to be changed. You bring them up into the heart.
And that's where
And that's where they come together, and that's the space where things happen. And I don't know if y'all remember this. I preached a while back about, and this has been a long time, about the heart. I read somewhere or watched something, and I don't. It was some kind of research that says it's really not your mind
Yes, I remember that.
that is dictating things. Your heart is really sending. Your messages are truly coming from your heart, and if you're not listening to your heart and you're listening to your mind, you're doing things wrong. But yeah, I see that 100%. Bringing your mind down into your heart transforms it, y'all. It transforms it, because this is the holy space. This is the center. The center. The Tao says, hold to the center.
If you don't come together, then you're messing with your circulation.
If you don't come together, yes, you are divided.
Like on a physical level, that like a
Well, you're divided too,
So divided.
and so spiritually.
And that's what
sometimes,
religion
so
does.
it's-
Hope said 6 Hail Marys and 7 Our Fathers.
She knows.
But
What something Sarah that reminds, like, okay, so when you said you say it again, your mind had to come into your heart in
Yeah.
order for you to pray and things like that.
yeah.
So that, and that I'm going back to my
Oh, I'm fixing to go to my Pentecostal. Huh.
Assembly of God.
Y'all fixing to hear me pray in tongues because I'm coming from the belly. Mhm.
You know, that reminded me of
Mhm.
God gives us. God can give you a prayer language
Uh-huh.
that you may not understand, but He does, and that I will tell you is the deepest. It is amazing when you. But help me. Baby.
Okay,
It's amazing
so,
when you can talk.
I-
I'm trying not to say anything.
Let me. I pray.
Just say what you say.
I pray in tongues. I still do.
Okay.
I still do. I still do. And I've never thought of it this way, Sarah. But I'm so glad you gave me this picture, because when I do, it comes from my belly.
Well, yeah.
It comes from my belly, and it comes out. And I do not understand the words. However, I am thinking. Okay. In English,
it's the intention.
and they're coming together and coming out.
It's the intention.
But but it's perfected.
Yeah.
You see, because I'm just giving I'm bringing it. It's perfected through the unknown.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
Holly did. and that happens, and let me tell you, I'm gonna go back, y'all, to the deep, because I'm going back to the deep, y'all. I'm spinning.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going back to the deep,
Tasmanian devil right now.
because
I have no idea when to stop.
I had a funeral. I had to preach a funeral in Laurel, and I had my get up on to go to the funeral, and Holly was supposed to preach that morning, so I wasn't even going to preach. I didn't have a sermon, and I was there, for choir. Like, I was going to sing. I was going to wait for the sermon, and I had time to be at church, but I had to leave immediately after. So during choir practice that morning, I don't know if you were there. I don't remember.
Oceans.
It was Oceans, yeah. And look, when Abby sings, the heavens open.
Yes.
Period.
Yep.
And this morning, we couldn't get anything right, y'all. We couldn't hit the right notes. Nobody was playing. It was a mess, a hot mess. We were trying, and it's chaos. And I'm going to tell you why it was chaos, because Spirit was fixing to do something. I'm over here. Everybody's struggling, and something's happening to me. And Spirit lands on me, and I start speaking in tongues. And I almost fell down. And that's not something I do publicly, and I don't want to scare anybody. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. And that is when Spirit said to me, don't fear the deep. I'm taking you deeper. Don't fear the deep. You've been in the shallow long enough.
Yes.
Don't fear the deep. And Holly turned around. Did I say that out loud, or
Yes,
did
I
I don't
heard you
remember
say it.
how
I
it
don't
went.
know. Yeah.
But I know, like, I'm not sure if y'all
what
was
happened. I don't know.
not sure if you were translating or
No,
if I said
no.
it.
It was a powerful.
It was one of those moments, and Holly turned and said, Pastor, I think you need to preach. And I was like, I took off. I ran off of the platform, grabbed my computer, and immediately, like, I had this many notes.
It was great.
But it was called Inspired, which means in spirit. And Spirit took me to the story of Peter, and when he walked on the water, and Jesus called Peter out of the boat, and Peter stepped out of the boat, and he started to sink, and Jesus said, "Oh, you of little faith." And all of a sudden, all the years I had preached that, the miracle was the walking on the water part. But Spirit showed me in that moment that he was trying to take Peter into the deep, into the water. And he had to trust Spirit for breath. He had to trust Spirit for breath. He had to trust Spirit 100% to go down into the abyss, into the water, into the belly of the sea. And that is the beginning of the deep for me. And the center, of course, it was just, it all kind of collided today. It's kind of collided in this whole place. It's all come full circle. And we've all gone. And look, y'all know, y'all watched me struggle. I struggled. And I kept saying, "What? This isn't deep. I'm dying." I felt like I was dying spiritually. I thought I was dying because I was stuck walking around in a block house, just like those other people walking around, surviving on only what had been tossed at me my whole life.
And I hate to say this, but your transformation happened when we lost the building.
Transformation happened when
Hello? It did, baby.
You know, but we had to release that building. We had to walk away from it.
when the building.
When you lost that building, when you let that building go,
Wow.
you started to transform.
That was a literal. That's a literal translation of that dream.
Yeah, it is.
Bam! He had to literally take that building from you, and I saw you transform then.
Wow.
That's when you started on that. To me, you started on the journey, but you
Wow.
hit the deep. Then
I thought I was drowning.
yeah, well,
That's how it feels, though.
Yeah.
With that mercable, that's scary, and then it makes you pull back.
Yeah. That's it. It's been interesting, and it's exciting and interesting.
oh my gosh.
And I'm thankful for those that stuck with me, y'all. It's like Sarah was saying, y'all. We're not just creating space for y'all. Y'all have created space for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's not many people here.
But that's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to have a lot of people left. They weren't. They couldn't give us the space. They couldn't open up. They couldn't allow us to grow.
Right.
And that was hard. But thank you for giving me space. Thank y'all for giving me.
Yes.
You gave us the space to, like, hey, we're just throwing stuff at the wall. So that's what it feels like. We're just like, hey, y'all. I think Spirit. Yeah, this is what Spirit's showing me.
Yeah.
Got some sauce, you know. And it's not, and I don't feel like, and I say that like we're talking haphazardly, but we're not. I mean, we're truly bringing things to you that
Raw.
that they're raw. Yeah, it's like true. It's organic.
organic. Good words.
It's organic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I sat here for 10 minutes at the beginning of this podcast going, what? Just like this. I mean, I didn't even say anything.
I think
Yeah.
that's like one of our purposes, though, is to like
Process
help
it.
each other grow and
Yeah.
figure things out. And like as humans, like I think that's what we're meant to do. That's why humans need connection.
Yes.
I think the
Connection.
philosophical
That's the word.
and the analytical conversations help a lot.
It helps unravel.
Yes.
And I mean, we are the Joshua generation.
Right.
God gave me that years ago. I was pregnant in my dream. Hello.
Oh no way.
I was pregnant, and I grabbed my Bible to name the baby, and I knew it was a spiritual pregnancy because I was lucid dreaming. I understood that I was dreaming, so I grabbed my Bible and was trying to name the baby, and I was like, oh, Isaiah and Jeremiah, and Spirit said Joshua, and I was like, Joshua's good, Ezekiel. And Spirit said, Joshua, and said it audible. And I woke up. And that was the beginning of the end, because it was not long after that I was vomited out of the church. I was, yeah, absolutely. A rebirth, yes. A rebirth, yes.
And I think we have to have several rebirths.
Yeah.
We have to, I think,
Totally.
I think we rebirth, and that's like Sarah was saying, we rebirth in every moment.
In every moment. Yeah, I agree.
The space between the moments. And that's been something, yeah, we have the opportunity to reborn, yeah.
I'm paraphrasing Llama from earlier.
Really? Oh, I love that. Well, and the thing about it is we grow the most in the darkest places, obviously. Think about the transformation that a sperm and an egg go through in the dark places of the womb. They go from a shrimp to a rabbit to a turtle. Y'all seen? Have you seen the embryos?
Think about what they go through to find each other, because you have billions of, not billions of sperm, but you have millions of sperm and only one.
Yeah. You want to know what Kabbalah teaches about that? This is kind of funny since we're on sperm and eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kabbalah teaches that, and this was scary for me, I'm just going to say, the what you are thinking about at the moment of conception determines which sperm meets which egg.
Wow.
What?
Wait, is that like something?
What you're thinking about?
I was like, oh, Drew.
What was I thinking?
That's what Kabbalah taught me. Then I was like, yeah, no, that was just a Kabbalistic teaching that I listened to the other day. It was kind of, it's like, oops, whoops. Why don't they teach us that in elementary school? Yeah. Yeah, that should be something we learn. That's just a funny. But anyway, guys. But all right. Anybody have any questions or comments? Or I know this has been a great discussion. Yes,
Great,
yes.
thank you.
I enjoy having this live
Yeah.
group. I really like. Oh yeah, totally. When we meet, yeah, totally, 100%. I'm enjoying this outside. Hopefully the weather will keep and be our friend. It is beautiful. All right, guys. I guess we're gonna next week. We're gonna unpack.
Let's do it.
Next week's unpacking, really?
Next week is unpacking. Well, it was supposed to be this week, and then my incredibly enlightened friend said, "Hey, what about Jonah?" So, all right, guys.
Thank y'all.
We love y'all, and hope to see you next week. Hopefully, we'll be out here again next week. It depends on the weather, but maybe the keg. We'll see. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. We love y'all, and have a great week.
Blessed be.
Namaste.